Hello and welcome to CIO News. I am Khushbu, Soni, your host for the broadcast and chief editor at CIO News. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. It is an exclusive interview series on the topic of Zero Moment of Truth, a series representing the startups of our India. And we'll be interacting with startups to learn from their journey, their experience, and the future that they carry for us. So let me dive in introducing my guest for today. He is Krishnan Sunderarajan, the founder at LOKA, the India's first Metaverse app. Krishnan holds a degree in BTech from SRM University and has 10 plus years of rich experience working for various brands. LOKA is also known as MISO, the company name which was founded in the combination of Krishnan's mother and father's name. LOKA is a brand name for the application, and LOKA is a platform that takes you to the immersive world where you can have a conversation between different cities. And the platform offers 3D versions of cities in the locations such as Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. LOKA is also been recently funded in the SharkTank. And congratulations to you, Krishnan, once again. And thank you so much for taking our time. I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with you.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to an amazing session as well. Great being here.
Awesome. Krishnan, tell us something about the app. Tell us about LOKA.
Oh, wonderful. Let's jump right into it, because LOKA is probably the only thing I talk about the entire day, right? So yeah. LOKA, in a sense, is a metaverse app, which is based out of one important thing, which is localization. So we are creating 3D versions of Indian cities and locations like the one you see just behind me, which is Connaught Place in Delhi. Yeah. We're working on our second location, which is Baga Beach in Goa at the moment. Okay. Here, this is a multiplayer environment where multiple players can jump in through their mobile phones and do various activities, from talking to each other, watching probably their favorite artists and comedians play behind in the LOKA Dome, shop for various things on the inside the world in the form of e-commerce. We're also introducing various gamification features, because that is important. When you're here to spend time, it's a mela of sorts as we look at it. So things like probably Red Bull at the moment, where you drink Red Bull and you start flying because Red Bull gives you wings, or you wear a Reebok shoe and you just keep on running because Reebok Flex, it makes you run faster. So you're doing all of that. In a sense, it's a mela where you come in, jump in, have fun, make meaningful relationships, and have loads of experiences as well.
Wonderful. I think that's the way forward, right? That is what our future is. It's digital. It is, it's metaverse. I mean, the way it had picked up, I think this is what it is going to be in the future. So wonderful initiative and really exciting. My next question to you is, and before, in fact, I move to the question, I want to, like I said, I want to congratulate you and your team for getting backed by Shark Tank and the Sharks, again, Anupam Mittal and Piyush Bansal. I think both are fantastic.
And Aman Gupta, so all three.
Yes, and Aman Gupta, yes, all three. So they are fantastic, right? So how was your experience on Shark Tank?
See, it was actually a mix, because I was the only guy going there. I had no team members accompanying me to the entire show, right? And this could be absolutely overwhelming as an experience, because we were the only startup on Shark Tank that was pre-launch, pre-revenue. So I was there with a bunch of companies whose revenues were in crores, who had operated for 3 years, 4 years, technology, D2C, all kinds. And I was a guy who was there saying, do I even fit in the same bracket as these guys? And from that point to eventually going to Shark Tank and just being me. And something that my friends and my family tell me is, I don't know if you were good or bad on the Shark Tank, but you were you. And that is what the plan was always to do. and I'm glad it came out well eventually. But it was a mix of happy and exciting at the same time.
Yeah, you were good, you were bold, you were, very straightforward. I think with the kind of questions that came across you and the way you handled it, it was really fantastic. And I think that built the whole confidence to the Sharks. So great, great job on that. So how is your, company's functioning changed after being backed by the investment from Anupam, Piyush and Aman?
Oh, actually, okay, that's a great question, and I'll probably give you some stats to say how good it has been, right? And we launched a night before we were aired, so we were launched on 3rd of January 2022. Our episode aired on the 4th, and since then it's been today is probably the 51st day. Or since the launch, we currently are over 70,000 users combined in all platforms. We have almost 60,000 users on Android, 10,000 users on iOS, because we just launched the iOS version sometime back. And our daily minutes time spent is way more than an average Indian game. So various good things have happened, right? And all thanks to Shark Tank, all thanks to the people of India who've given us so much love and support. And it's phenomenal. I remember I started in 2020. Nobody believed in the concept, right? Because I've been a gamer, I could always see this coming. But when I explained this to people are like, "Yaar, tu game bana raha hai, to bahut log banate hain, tu kya khas kar raha hai?" But it is not a game. It is going to be your life. And that's what I said then. That's what I'm going to say now. And I'm glad it Shark Tank happened, and we ended up getting so many users, getting so much love out there.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how has been the involvement of these sharks? In terms of support, I'm pretty sure, with the kind of experience they carry, how's your support that you've been getting?
Oh, phenomenal. In fact, among all three of the sharks, Anupam, Piyush, and Aman, I've interacted with very coincidentally Amit the most. And Amit is actually the co-founder of Lenskart, who's also the co-founder of Piyush. And I remember the first call I had with him, and I was like, so I was talking about various stuff and this and that, and he says, "यार एक काम कर, तू D&D के दूसरे पार रहता है दिल्ली में, मैं इस पार रहता हूँ, तू एक काम कर, अगले संडे आजा चाय पे, पीयूष को भी बुला लेंगे और हम गप्पे मारेंगे." And I was like, oh my God, this feels like I'm not with the Lenskart founder. I'm with my friend who's talking to me so casually, right? And that goes the same with Aman as well. Aman's been like, even in my WhatsApp, if I could just show you, you'll realize it's like two friends talking and not investor and a investee company talking. So it's been cool with Aman. It's been cool with Piyush. And in terms of Anupam, he is obviously, even if he wanted to be nice to me, I would give him all the respect that he deserves. He's been the veteran of the industry. He's not a friend. He's somebody I take advice from.
Correct. Awesome. Great. So how did you decide to go ahead with the offer? I mean, what you had put across, as your first pitch to what you actually put up the offer, there was a huge difference in terms of the equity. So what made you go ahead and take the decision?
It's actually very tough, right? And I remember actually going back in the tunnel of Shark Tank and thinking if I should be taking this or if I shouldn't be taking this. And the thing that was going on in my head was that I look at this as a validation. And I look at three amazing sharks who've done phenomenal work in their respective careers, saying that I like the guy and I'm going to bet on the guy. And that gives me validation that three amazing folks have backed you. Then you're backable as a commodity, both as a founder and as a company, right? And and for me, that was more important than whatever equity I got or whatever funding I got. 40 lakh, 40 crores, 40,000. It didn't really matter.
Right. Great, great. Krishnan, from your overall entrepreneur journey, tell us your happiest moment.
Well, it's always my happiest moment is always in the tomorrow. It's not in the present, not in the past, because so I always believe that you should be the wolf climbing the mountain, not coming down it. So the wolf climbing the mountain is always the wolf that's hungry, that has the fire in the belly to keep pushing forward. So I'm always looking forward to tomorrow, that it will hold the possibilities, the recognition that I will one day want in life. But currently, I always want to be unsatisfied in terms of my career, and that's how I look at it.
Awesome, awesome. While there are happiest moments, I'm sure there must be many challenging moments as well. Tell us about your challenges.
Well, it's been, the challenge have not stopped coming, and you just get stronger with every challenge, right? And I think some of the challenges that have come my way, and this probably comes in every entrepreneur's life, right? Which is either you don't get support in terms of your parents, your friends, or you don't have the money, or you don't have the skill set, right? I was very fortunate to have the support, yes. Didn't have the money, didn't have the skill set. But the good part is, skill set is the easiest problem to solve, because you can always learn and improve, right? And money is always a commodity. If you get good at something, money, you attract money and resources and people, right? So there have been instances in my life, in my previous startup, we had a runway of what, three months, 4 months of the company, and we would shut down in 4 months. And I'd taken money from my parents. I had to sort of return it to them as well. And I didn't want to come out as a failure. And it's good to be a failure. There's nothing wrong in being a failure, but you didn't want to be a failure so soon, in a few months, right? So, and thankfully I realized that when you, and this is an analogy that people keep giving, which I honestly think is wrong, that that entrepreneurship or anything related to business is more like a race. It's not a race. Definitely, it's not even a marathon. In fact, it is more like a survival game. You just keep at it, you keep doing it, day in, day out, day in, day out. And the final guy that remains in the ring at the end of, let's say, 10 years, 5 years, 6 years, is the one who ends up winning. I started my journey and there were 50 guys who did the same with me. I don't have a single person who's still doing it. And I'm doing it, and I don't call myself successful, but I am on the journey to become successful, and I'll continue till that happens.
Wow, great. I think it requires a lot of patience, right? I mean, and you've kept
doors
that.
open, right? Even in my previous startup, like I was mentioning, we didn't have the runway. We were going out of money, and eventually we happened to go on a TV show back in 2016 called The Vault by Times Now, and we raised our first investment there. So things just keep opening for you, keeps happening, something or the other keeps happening. Even with Shark Tank, right? I was a pre-launch company with absolutely no traction. We went to Shark Tank. Now we have the validation, we have the traction, we have the backing to go to the next level. So doors will open always. You just have to keep fighting, keep surviving.
True. Awesome. What does the future look like, Krishnan, for the company?
Well, the future seems bright, and that is why we're on the journey, challenging various things that exist in the world, and asking people to port to the next version of the internet, which is the metaverse. But specifically speaking, I think one of the key things that we will be launching is a host of new features, and we understand what we are building is primarily a Gen Z product. So it is, most of our users are roughly of the age group of 10 to 24, and we are introducing various kinds of stuff that that essentially make the Gen Z fall in love with this world. And we want this to be as localized as possible. We are introducing, let's say for a very small feature, we are introducing background noises in the world where CP would feel like CP, where somebody would randomly scream, say, "Oh bhaiya," versus if you're in Mumbai, it'll sound like "Oh dada," versus if you're in Bangalore, it'll sound like "Oh Anna." And that is the kind of detailing that we are going on with. So the future seems localized. The future is localization. The future are amazing experiences in terms of events, in terms of dating, in terms of games, in terms of various new things that we are coming up with.
Awesome. Awesome. And how do you see technology helping you grow this business? I mean, it's already a tech business, right? But how do you see other technology helping you in the business?
Well, I think the great part about, and this is one of the primary factors what separates a game with a metaverse. A game is essentially an environment where you have a certain purpose driven activity to why you're in the game. Let's say like PUBG, for example, you go to PUBG, you play the game. At the end of the day, you either win the chicken dinner or you don't, and you keep repeating the process, right? But in a metaverse, you are in a world which is like a game world, but it mimics a real world experiences, and it has various connections with real world products already. And how are these connected? For example, we are launching scooties in the game, for example, which will be scooties that are there's a scooty rental startup in Bangalore called DriveZ and Bounce, and there's Ola Electric as well. So if whoever says yes to us first will have his scooty inside the world, which people would be able to ride and drive. And the second would be, so we are talking to brands like Fab India or W, who will be introducing the digital replica of their clothing inside the world. So their avatars can wear those clothing. Or let's say a KFC will be opening a store inside the world where people can go to KFC, order stuff, and get it in the real world wherever they live, right? So so what I'm trying to say is that there are various real world brands and technologies that collaborate to creating this. We are currently working with Agora, which is a voice tool where people can talk to each other using voice controls. We are working with Ready Player Me that replicates your face as your avatar's face. So we are working with various technology and brand partners to create this.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Great. My one last question before we end today's episode. Any suggestions for upcoming business owners seeking investments? Any advices that you would want to give them?
Well, I think the greatest advice I've gotten in my life, keep repeating that in my head, is always stay uncomfortable. And the more you get yourself into uncomfortable situations that might embarrass you, that might hurt your ego, that might challenge you, the more you grow as people. And eventually you will realize the people who criticize you, laugh at you, would want to be you at some point. So that's what you keep repeating in your head.
Wow, fantastic conversation with you, Krishnan. And I think great insights. I'm sure our viewers are going to get some good key takeaways out of this conversation. Congratulations to you and your team once again, and all the very best.
Thank you so much
for LOKA, and we look forward to staying in touch with you.
Absolutely. Let's have a chat very soon. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Good day. Bye-bye.